There was a time when a simple video call could cost you everything. Stay till the very end of this video to find out how a single video call costs exactly $25 million. In January 2024, a finance worker at multinational engineering giant Arup thought he was discussing a confidential transaction with his CEO and colleagues on Zoom. 30 minutes later, $25 million vanished into thin air. But here is the twist that shook the corporate world to its core. Everyone on that call was fake. Not actors, not imposters, but artificial intelligence so sophisticated it fooled a seasoned financial professional. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how this impossible heist was pulled off, why your own CEO could be next, and the terrifying reason why your eyes and ears can no longer be trusted. This is the story of the world's first AI-powered corporate heist. Our victim wasn't some naive intern fresh out of college. This was a senior finance manager at Arup, a company that's designed some of the world's most iconic buildings. He'd been handling million-dollar transactions for years, trained to spot red flags and verify suspicious requests. But the scammers knew exactly who they were targeting. They'd spend months studying Arup's corporate structure, analyzing public interviews with experts, and mapping out the company's financial approval processes. When the first email arrived from what appeared to be the UK chief financial officer about an urgent acquisition deal, the manager's instincts kicked in. The writing style matched previous communications, the email signature was perfect, and even the legal disclaimers were identical to genuine company emails. But it was the follow-up Zoom call that sealed his fate. Picture this. You're on a video call with your CEO, watching him nod at familiar talking points, hearing his distinctive accent, seeing his characteristic hand gestures. The audio quality matches your usual corporate calls, complete with slight delays and background noise. But what you're actually witnessing is the most sophisticated fraud in history, a real-time deepfake performance. The scammers used three key technologies to pull this off. First, voice cloning software that analyzed just 60 seconds of the real CFO's public speeches to replicate his British accent, speech patterns, and even his tendency to say, right then at the end of sentences. Second, facial mapping algorithms that studied hundreds of photos and videos to recreate not just his appearance, but his micro-expressions, the way his eyebrows raised when making a point, how he tilted his head when listening. But the third element was pure criminal genius. Behavioral scripting. They didn't just copy how the executives looked and sounded. They studied how they acted in meetings, the awkward Zoom silences, the corporate buzz, even the way the CFO would lean back in his chair when discussing confidential matters. Every detail was calculated to pass the uncanny valley test. Here, S truly terrifying. The technology behind this heist is unlocked away in some government laboratory. It's available to anyone with a laptop and internet connection. Generative adversarial networks, or GANs, can now create photorealistic faces from scratch using nothing more than social media photos. Voice cloning tools that once required Hollywood budgets now cost less than a Netflix subscription. The math is staggering. With just 5 seconds of video and 10 seconds of audio, scammers can achieve 89% accuracy in voice cloning. Your LinkedIn profile photo that contains over 2,000 facial data points. That TikTok video you posted last week, it's a goldmine of behavioral patterns that AI can learn and replicate. But here's where it gets personal. Every time you speak at a company meeting, appear in a promotional video, or even leave a voicemail, you're creating training data for potential scammers. That quarterly earnings call where your CEO discusses financial strategies, criminals are downloading it, feeding it into algorithms, and building digital doubles that could authorize million-dollar transfers. The barrier to entry has collapsed. For just $300 in cloud computing credits, a criminal organization can rent enough processing power to clone a Fortune 500 CEO in high definition. Open-source tools like Deepfake have democratized this technology, turning deepfake creation from a specialized skill into something anyone can learn from YouTube tutorials. But the cybersecurity industry isn't standing still. As deepfakes become more sophisticated, so do the tools designed to detect them. Next-generation authentication systems now track micro-movements that even the best AI struggles to replicate. Real humans have involuntary iris tremors, measuring just 0.3 millimeters. Movements so subtle that current deepfake technology copy and simulate them consistently. Phoneme analysis represents another frontier in the detection arms race. AI systems can now compare how someone shapes their mouth when saying specific vowels, like the O when transferred, against historical speech patterns. It's like a vocal fingerprint that's incredibly difficult to fake convincingly. Some companies are even experimenting with blockchain verification for video communications. Tools like Deepfake embed cryptographic seals directly into genuine recordings, creating an unbreakable chain of authenticity. If a video doesn't have this digital signature, it's automatically flagged as potentially the human element remains our strongest defense. Major corporations are implementing what they call the 25 million protocol. Any transfer above $1 million requires in-person confirmation using predetermined code phrases. These aren't just random words, but specific phrases that would sound natural in conversation, but are impossible for scammers to guess. Think blue ostrich methodology instead of simple passwords. The Arup case wasn't an isolated incident, it was a warning shot. Cybersecurity experts predict that deepfake fraud will cost businesses $40 billion by 2027. We're re-entering an era where seeing is no longer believing, where a video call with your boss might actually be a conversation with artificial intelligence, designed to steal everything UVA worked for. The psychological impact extends beyond financial losses. When employees can't trust their own senses, when every video call becomes a potential threat, the very foundation of business communication crumbles. Some companies are now conducting quarterly deepfake drills where employees practice identifying synthetic media, turning paranoia into a necessary survival skill. But perhaps the most chilling aspect is into technology itself. It is how quickly we have adapted to this new reality. Just 5 years ago, the idea of AI impersonating your CEO would have sounded like science fiction. Today, it's a boardroom discussion about insurance premiums and security protocols. The finance manager at Arup learned a harsh lesson that we all need to remember. In the age of synthetic reality, healthy paranoia isn't a character flaw, it's a survival mechanism. The scammers behind this heist are still out there, their artificial intelligence growing more sophisticated with each passing day, waiting for the next executive to let their guard down on a seemingly routine video call. Hit subscribe and ring that notification bell, because in a world where your CEO might be artificial intelligence, staying informed isn't just smart, it's essential for survival.